My craft started in my one-car garage. I was a home brewer, and then it eventually evolved to take over just about every square inch of my house.
Meet Rich, a master distiller and founder of Motor City Gas.
Whiskey caught my love, became a bit of an obsession, and that's when my wife and I decided that we were going to start to pursue Motor City Gas.
There's something about whiskey that beckons to be savored as an experience. There's an edge to whiskey, and I wanted to find out what the art of whiskey really entails.
That's great! Hey, Rich.
Justin, what's up, brother?
Good to see you.
How are you, man? It's good to see you.
You too.
You ready to drink some whiskey?
Let's do it.
Go.
How did you get into distilling?
It was a very grassroots start. It's just my wife and I. We don't have partners or investors. We did most of the work in here ourselves. It was a very raw start, but I think we learned a lot that way. Whiskey is something that struck me a little harder than anything else I've ever done. The whole process, I love everything about it, from growing the grain from the soil all the way to pouring whiskey for customers. I do have an intimate relationship with that craft. I truly love every part of it.
Before I can craft myself a drink, I'll have to take it back to the roots. Just a short trip from the distillery is Motor City Gas Farms, located in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Here is where all the fresh grains are grown for bourbon and whiskey production. And you'd think that's the secret to their success. And while that's a part of it, the real secret is that they simply do things the hard way.
When we started the farm, we always wanted to be 100% organic. Then we've decided that we want to evolve into the next step, which is regenerative farming, which is a no plow, no till process. Not only keep chemicals out of the soil, but return the soil to its natural health. It also adds nutrients and flavor to what we're growing on it. The team from Motor City Gas will come out here. We will walk through the field and we will hand pick only the best stalks that we find, and that will be reserved for future planting. And then we will transport that corn to the distillery for mashing, fermenting, and distilling.
Now that we've harvested and secured the grains, let's head back to the distillery to turn these grains into a drink on the rocks.
So we're gonna crush these grains, we're gonna mill them out back. We throw them in this kettle here, which we call our mash tun, and we're gonna cook the sugars out of those grains. We will quickly cool that down and transfer it over to these fermenters behind us. That's when the yeast goes in, and the yeast will swim around in there. They'll gobble up all the sugars from that grain, and they're gonna slowly, over the course of about a week, turn this into a beer. So then we transfer this distiller's beer down to the still. As we heat that distiller's beer, alcohol and water are going to start to evaporate off of it, but alcohol and water evaporate at different temperatures. So we're able to separate a lot of the water from the alcohol, concentrating the alcohol, and that's when we end up with hard liquor or whiskey. And everything that we do, we don't use some technology to make those cuts. We do it all by smell and taste. One of the things that makes us very unique, I think, here at Motor City Gas is that our product development is based on spontaneous inspiration. And we're constantly making different things, which a lot of people in this business would call dangerous business path to go down, but that's never been the goal for us. It's always been about the craft. It's always been about creating things that we love and that inspire us.
So tell me where we are now.
So this is one of our barrel rooms here at Motor City Gas. This is where we store our barrels for long-term aging. All of these barrels are handmade. Here at Motor City Gas, these whiskeys spend a minimum of 2 years in the barrel before we even bother tasting them. We can extract more of the whiskey flavors if we toast or char that wood. You can toast the inside of the barrel at different temperatures, and that will release different sugars and flavors from the wood.
So the wood is almost like another ingredient in the liquor.
Absolutely. Yep, the barrel in most whiskeys is going to contribute most of the flavor.
So let's taste a barrel.
Okay. This is a rye whiskey, 118 proof. It was barreled in 2015 and spent the last 3 years in a brandy barrel.
So this is almost 7 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers.
I'm getting lots of caramel notes, and the brandy is definitely coming through on it. You'll notice some floral notes from the rye, which I think blend really nice with the brandy. It's got great complexity on the nose, but I would like to see a little bit more depth on the palate, and I think it's headed in a good direction. We've never been obsessed with getting big. It's always been about quality and getting to that dirt to bottle and trying to have as much fun as we can while doing it.
If you had this all to do over again from the first home brewing, would you do anything differently?
No, absolutely not. I mean, it was not the model approach to starting a business. There were a lot of struggles early on, and we made a ton of mistakes, but honestly, looking back, I wouldn't do it any different.
After a long day of farming, distilling, and aging, I finally got my drink in hand. Rich taught me that crafting whiskey is more than just passion, but a labor of love. Cheers!